Warbands, Robin here, and I'm back again. And what am I here today for? You've probably seen in the description above, but it's a slightly cold Wednesday morning. I'm in the garage and it is a bit chilly, but I've got something to warm the cockles, and that is the new Grymwatch Beastgrave Warband, which I'm going to have a look at. And I'm very excited about this, and I'm super excited because normally these arrive on a Thursday or a Friday. It's arriving on a Wednesday, which means Pete and I can record a game tonight, and we can put it out for you as soon as possible. Hopefully on the Saturday. There's an embargo on until the Saturday, so this video will go live at 11 AM on Saturday. You're already watching it, so you don't care when it goes live, but then we'll try and stagger our Underworld's content as quickly as we can with the new Ghoul Warbands. I'm going to do, after I've looked at the cards in here, I'm going to look through the faction cards so you can have a look at those. Pete and I tonight will discuss the Universal cards, so that'll be a separate video, and then we'll have a couple of games with them as well against the new Warbands, faction-specific games, and then as the weeks go on, we will start introducing the Universals into the game as well. So that's what we're doing. Let's have a look inside the box. This video, I thought it would be really fun. I do not know any of the mechanics at the moment, so it's Wednesday when I'm making this. Games Workshop haven't spoiled very much. They've hinted that there's going to be the madness tokens for these guys, and they've hinted that there's some way of replenishing your forces. I don't know anything about it, so this is kind of why I want to do this as live, so you can sort of share that excitement with me. You will probably already know this come Saturday morning when this goes out, because Games Workshop are bound to have mentioned it on a Thursday or Friday community post, but we'll see. So what have we got? Well, we've got the instructions. Throw those away, don't need those. And we've got some plastic, lovely plastic, and as you can see, it's a sort of slightly off bluey green colour, grey almost. Looks a bit like Vallejo's heavy grey. Anyway, so that's those. Some hairy ghoulies on a sprue, and apologise for those type of jokes. They're going to come thick and fast in the coming weeks. I apologise for that. I'm not that sorry, but I would apologise. So that's the middle models. I'll put those together so we can play tonight. Other people will do far more interesting things with those models than we will. That's not our speciality. So let's have a look at the cards. One thing you will notice about these cards, this is my second take. I have already got as far as taking them out of the box, whereas I hadn't pressed record. You will notice that the decks are different sizes. So these ones I think must be the Universal cards, and this must be the full faction-specific deck. I shall open this one first. I'll probably cut while I tussle with the plastic, because that always takes forever. Not too bad this time. So there is a little descriptor card about the Grymwatch with some flavour text on it and a nice picture of those Grymwatches there. And then we've got Duke Crackmarrow. That's a good name. And he's a 4-move, 1 dodge, 4 wound fighter with a halberd. And there, which has got a range of 2, 2 hammers, 2 damage, which is pretty nice. There are in the Inspire condition. The Inspire condition is there are fewer than 2 enemy fighters in your territory at the end of the action phase. Whoa, like it. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's going to bring the enemy to you. Got to look out for hidden paths. Not that runs in this game, but look out for the Grashrak character who can do the same thing. And what are his abilities? That's what you want to know, isn't it? Ghoul Call. Try saying that live on camera a lot. Place the scatter token in a hex and roll 1 attack dice to determine direction. Place 1 friendly crypt ghoul that is out of action in the furthest empty hex from the scatter token in that direction. Interesting. And then they also have a muster at the start of the action phase. This fighter makes the Ghoul Call action. This is not an activation, so you can always call somebody back. Old Duke with Duke Crackmarrow at the start of an action phase, so the beginning of each turn, effectively, not quite. And then you can do it as an action to bring somebody back. Wow, bring back a Crypt Ghoul. And then we've got the Duke's Harriers. They are the bats. So I will show you the picture of that. Again, you've probably seen it all. And he inspires, of course, up to 5 move, 2 dodge, 4 damage, 4 wounds, and then his attack stays 2 hammers, still range of 2. It goes up to 3 damage. So that's pretty tasty. He's pretty tasty. The bats, as you might expect, they're 3 swords and 1 damage, 1 range of 1, but they move 5 and they have dodges, and they and they have 3 wounds. They expire in exactly the same way. And the fighter treats lethal hexes as normal hexes. They can move through occupied hexes but cannot end their move in occupied hex, and you can't be given attack action upgrade. So that's the Duke's Harriers, the bats, and they inspire. They get ensnare when they inspire. They go up to 6 move and 2 dodges. 6 move, 2 dodges. Whoa! And then there's Gristavel Greatsword. Same inspire condition, no special actions. So the special action does seem to be limited to Duke Crackmire, which we might expect. Fewer than 2 enemy fighters in your territory at the end, so the inspire condition is the same. And he's got 2 swords, 3 damage though, with his great club. And he's got movement of 4, 1 dodge, 3 wounds. And he goes up to 3 swords, 3 damage, which is pretty tasty. Stays at only 1 dodge though, but a movement of 5, so these guys get quick. Master Talon, a Crypt Gore, and he is a hunter as well, old Master Talon. Same inspire condition, no special rules, just 2 swords and 1 damage. So he's a bit pants, if I'm honest. Not that great. He inspires up to 1 dodge, 3 swords, 1 damage, but he does then get a reaction. When he's inspired, he does get a reaction. After an action which an adjacent enemy fighter is taken out of action, place a feast counter on this card. This fighter has +1 wounds for each feast counter on this card. Remove the counters if the fighter is taken out of action. So they get feast counters. They don't get madness tokens, or they don't seem to yet. They get feast tokens. This just in, oh, you probably already know, but this just in, yes, they get feast tokens. And he is... Well, I'm not sure. He moves 5. He's only got 2 wounds, and he only ever got 1 dodge. And he's only got 3 swords, and he only does 1 damage. I wouldn't like to say he's not very good, but Targor, there's a new person worse than you in town. And then we have the Night Herald, who's another Crypt Ghoul hunter. So that's 2 hunters so far. And again, his stats are basically the same as the previous one with his Strangler's Claws. I don't know if they're golden brown or not. We'll have to see. Herald inspired. He's basically the same, but he doesn't have a reaction. -1 dice from adjacent enemy fighters attack actions to a minimum of 1. So -1 dice if you're adjacent to him, presumably because of his Strangler's Claws. That's when he's inspired only, and he goes up to 5 movement, 1 dodge, 2 wounds. And then we have the Royal Butcher. He's a Crypt Ghoul and he's a hunter again, and he has exactly the same stats: 4 move, 1 dodge, 2 wounds, and he's the same attack. 1 range, 2 swords, 1 damage. Inspire condition's the same. No condition, no rules when he's uninspired, and when he's inspired, he has no rules either. But he gets up to a mighty 4 swords with ensnare, which is pretty good with these butcher's hooks. Got to have a good look at those. And yeah, with butcher and ensnare, 1 damage. So you're looking at trying to get as many strength upgrades on him as you possibly can, I'm guessing. And then we have Valric the Tracker, who is also a hunter. So all these slightly weaker ghouls are all hunters. Now she's a little bit better. She has 2 swords and 2 damage, and she does 4. She moves 4, 1 dodge, 3 wounds. A little bit better, but again, no special rules on going up. And she only goes, her bone knife goes up to 3 swords, but she does have 2 dodge on inspiration and a movement of 5. So she, she's a little bit better. I can never quite get my head round. There's like a lot of fighters there, and a lot of different things you can do. They're not that strong. I feel like you might be trying to grab some objectives, but then again, maybe weight and numbers could help. The feast tokens, interesting, not that powerful mechanic. I'm getting straight away. There's only 1 guy who can do it, as far as I noticed going through those. I'll have a quick double check. She can't do it. The butcher can't do it. Ironically, the butcher can't feast. You think he might do? The herald can't. Master Talon. He can. Master Talon can. Crystal Greatsword can't. The bats can't, and the leader guy can't. So interesting. But they can bring people back, and they will bring somebody back at the end of the turn. That is quite interesting in an almost random direction, which potentially could be great, potentially could be awful. It's interesting. I'm really looking forward to playing those and seeing how that turns out. So the shock news there was that there's no madness tokens in these guys, but they can bring people back. Okay, I'm going to have a quick scout through these. I'm not going to go through them all. I'll do that in a separate video. Is there anything interesting here? It's difficult to do it quickly, and I don't want to be bore you, and I'll have to read them all through. But let's have a quick. Or maybe I'll just do some random cuts. We'll do some random cuts, and then we'll do a proper. There'll be another video coming along any minute now. In fact, it's probably already live. So let's have a look. The Stench of Victory. Play this attack during a friendly fighter's successful attack action before they deal the deal damage step. Choose another friendly fighter and push that chosen fighter up to 3 hexes so they are adjacent to the target. So after the attack action you can bring somebody up. That's pretty cool. Hunter's Nose. Each enemy fighter is a quarry. +1 dice to this fighter's attack actions that target a quarry. That's specific to Valreek. I can't remember which one Valreek was, but it's a specific card. And let's have another one. A Right-hand Ghoul. After a friendly Crackmarrow's move action, if this fighter has no move or charge tokens, so this is for Gristelvale only, it has no move or charge tokens, this move fighter makes a move action. This fighter must end the move action adjacent to a friendly Crackmarrow. So again, good for swamping people, which is quite interesting, I think. Seized Weapon, a slightly better weapon upgrade. It's 3 swords, 2 damage. You give this upgrade to a friendly fighter from your hand. 1 adjacent enemy fighter is dealt 1 damage. Quite nice, that. Severed Trophy. When the fighter's attack action takes an adjacent enemy fighter out of action, gain 1 additional glory point. So, little Tome of Offerings there, a little Severed Trophy. Let's have a look at some objectives. Bravely done. Surge card. Score this immediately when a friendly fighter with 1 or more supporting fighters takes an enemy out of action with an attack action. Interesting. So we're looking at these push ploys and getting supports. We can see that from some of the other, just a few cards I've read out. There's a hybrid here. Do like a hybrid. Score this in a third end phase if all surviving friendly fighters are in enemy territory, or there are no enemy fighters in your territory, and that's 2 glories. It's kind of like Conquest and Denial all in one, but same glory as Conquest. So that's pretty good. Incomprehensible Scheme. Score this in an end phase if your warband holds more objectives than each enemy warband. Ooh, interesting. And Pervasive Delusion. This is a surge card. Score this immediately when you play your third or subsequent gambit card in a single round. Interesting. And then finally, the last card of the deck, Shifting Madness. Score this immediately after activation if your warband holds the objective with the same number as the current round. How insane is that? Entirely cool. Right, we'll go through those properly in a second, so you can watch that video. I'll have a quick look at these so you can see. I love the card that you can see on the front there. Cloaked in Shadow. Choose a fighter until the end of the next activation that fighter is a quarry. Players cannot choose that fighter when a gambit is played, and that fighter cannot be dealt damage by gambits. That's pretty awesome, I think. I mean, they become a quarry, which is obviously not that great, maybe, although the quarry mechanic isn't that pervasive yet, although the suggestion there's going to be some cards that can do things with that. But you can't use them with a gambit, and they can't be dealt with damage by a gambit, so you cannot choose them by gambit. Could be nasty if you played it on the Skaven. They can't be chosen, but particularly if you've got somebody on an objective, you might consider playing it on your own person, so they can't be distracted off. Not the distraction is currently in the game, but you get my meaning there. That's an interesting. I love what they're doing with the mechanics in this game. I have to say, I do love what they're doing with the mechanics in this game. So what else have we got? Again, Peter and I'm going to go through these in big detail, so I won't bore you with doing them all now, but Pete and I will go through them in detail. So I'm going to take a Fate's Decree. Play this after an opponent makes a roll as instructed by a gambit or upgrade, but not during an attack action. So it's like a gambit roll. Before the effect is resolved, the opponent must re-roll that roll. Interesting. Makes spells a little bit less powerful, maybe. Rebound, totally out the window if it wasn't already rotated out of the window. Madness Dart, fantastic. Insert madness pun here. Oh, this is just, I've used it before, but this is just one step beyond anything we've seen. Choose one enemy fighter adjacent to one or more friendly fighters. The chosen fighters' attack actions have the sword's characteristic instead of their printed characteristic. This effect persists until the chosen fighter is out of action. So choose one enemy fighter adjacent to or one or more friendly fighters. The chosen fighter's attack action has the sword's characteristic instead of their printed characteristic. I don't know whether that's any good or not, but it's got, there's a little, it says Madness Dart Poison underneath it. What does that mean? I've no idea, but that's in itself is interesting. Restless Prize. Pick one objective token and move it into an adjacent hex up to 2 times. You cannot move it into a lethal hex or a hex that includes a feature token. Sitting target. The first attack action made by a friendly fighter in the next activation has +1 dice and ensnare. If the target has no move or charge tokens. Interesting. If the target has no move or interesting. And then we have the Amberborn Axe. Maybe suggestion these are like the Nullstone weapons here. Amberborn Axe. After this fighter makes this attack action, discard this card. It's a 3 range. If you throw it, 2 hammer, 1 damage attack, or it has a single range, 2 hammer, 2 damage attack. And if it takes an enemy fighter, out of action, then you discard it and gain 1 glory point. Ooh. Blood Thief. Another weapon. Reaction after this attack action, if it succeeded, heal 2 this fighter and discard this card. It's like a Eric Melnibody's sword, a bit of a Stormbringer thing going on there. Hunter's Reflexes. This fighter is a hunter, it's another upgrade. Use this after an enemy fighter's activation. If the fighter is a quarry, push this fighter 1 hex closer to that enemy target. That's after an enemy fighter's activation. A Larval Lance. I know I said I wasn't going to go through all of these, but they're really exciting. It's got asterisks on the on the wounds count, on the statistics of the weapon. This attack action's dice and damage characteristics are equal to the current round number. E.g. 1 in the first round. So that's twice we've seen that mechanic coming into the game here. So it's good at the end of the game, that one. And then we have another upgrade, Mazig's Many Legs. So it's got a spell action on it, so it's for a wizard only. If cast, choose another friendly fighter within 2 hexes of the caster. Push the chosen fighter up to 2 hexes. Just 1 single channel to cast that. Interesting. And it has Lost Page written underneath it. I'm not sure. Maybe that poison and Lost Page, I don't know what they mean. Maybe there's a thing for Lost Pages. I can't see any other poison or Lost Page suggestions there, but maybe you're going to be some Lost Page. Maybe there's going to be a theme through the game, like the relics. But not too much like the relics, one hopes. And let's have a look at some objectives now. Coveted Spoils. Score this at end phase. If all objectives are held, 3 glory. Oh, not sure about that one. Maybe. Dug In. 4 glory. Just a duel. Score this at end phase if your warband holds 3 or more objectives and your warband held 3 or more objectives at the start of the round. 4 glory for that. Oh, tough. Path to Victory. Score this end phase if one or more enemy fighters were taken out of action in the previous phase and your warband holds 2 or more objectives. Definitely focusing down on objectives in Beastgrave, which is fantastic. Well done, GW. Well done, Dave and John. Brilliant work. Love it. I've got a Surge objective here, or a Scourge objective, I was going to say, because it's called Scum. No, it's not. It's called Scrum. Scrum. Score this immediately after an activation if 4 or more fighters on the battlefield are in a single group in which each fighter is adjacent to at least 1 other fighter in that group. Doesn't happen very often. Maybe with the Gits. Score immediately worth 1. Got a Surge Duel card here. Swift Capture. Score this immediately after activation if your warband holds 1 or more objectives in friendly territory and your warband holds 1 or more objectives in enemy territory. Well, it's starting to get really interesting because like, if your supremacy fails, you've got a chance of still scoring this one. So I think it's just brilliant. The beast is slain. Looks like a hunter and quarry thing. The Great Hunt. Hybrid. Score this in an end phase if 1 or more friendly fighters has 3 or more upgrades, or 3 or more friendly hunters have 1 or more upgrades. It's kind of like it is literally it's a hybrid card, but it is almost like there's 2 opposing cards in the previous incarnations. I can't remember what they're called. It's completely gone from my head, but that's quite interesting. And then the last one, to the end. Score this in phase if there are no cards left in your power deck. Need some cycle through cards if we're going to play that one, but it's worth 2 glory. Not convinced though. Not convinced by that one. So that's it. That is my little unboxing of the Grymwatch from Beastgrave. Let me know what you think. I will say we will do in-depth looks at the cards and things. Just like a quick overview. So I hope it was alright. I hope you enjoyed it. Very excited by these. Looks like objective plays back in. Madness tokens still to be decided. Can bring people back. It's very exciting. Do stay tuned to Agents of Sigmar. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Do consider following us on Patreon if you haven't already. And thank you to those who do. And it's just we're going to be going for hell for leather on Beastgrave for a while. We've got the goblins to come. We've got the Grymwatch. It's exciting times. Bye.